Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dad Bods and Bad Attitudes. We are your hosts. I'm Christopher Samela. He is Mark Davis. Just a couple middle-aged white dudes with some guitars, dad bods, bad attitudes, and a whole lot of fire for what's going on in the world. So we're going to get right into this show and talk about why Mark was visited by the Secret Service right after we hit this intro. Everybody wants to know, everybody on Threads, Instagram, they want to know, why the hell did the Secret Service show up to your house a couple weeks ago?
I kind of want to know why the Secret Service showed up to my house. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a veteran. I have nothing on my record. But obviously I am vocal on social media, and I recognize that there's a problem. And right now, I think that problem needs be met with fire. You know, kind of like what Gavin Newsom is talking about, meeting fire with fire. You know, and that's
Yep.
kind of the spirit that I've taken online, and I get really, really aggressive, and I push and I push, and I'm trying to fire people up and wake people up. But anyway, and you might
Like that
hear a
dog in the
dog.
background? Is that dog waking up?
Yeah, you might hear a dog in the background. I got two bulldogs. One's an English bulldog and one is a French bulldog. And
Very nice.
Roxy, the English bulldog, she is actually our mascot. So she is the Mad
Okay.
Dog Dems
Cool.
mascot. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So
Yeah. So we're going to get to that. You'll tell us about the Mad Dog Dems.
I'm just giving people my opinions, and I probably said something to the effect of, you know, if somebody doesn't go to Mar-a-Lago to check into their spa for the pedophilia issues, I think it rubbed certain people the wrong way. That was the reason I believe that they came out to my house. They didn't officially give me a reason, but obviously there was another incident that that happened here in Florida with DeSantis just about a week
Mm-hmm.
prior to their visit, where, you know, obviously I got out in front of this when he was giving a live news conference, and he was giving an update on Alligator Alcatraz. And
Yeah.
no, at that point he was giving an update on Hulk Hogan, who had
Yes.
just passed
Yeah.
away.
Get it right. He was talking
Yes,
about the Hulkster
he was
instead
talking
of
about the Hulk.
Alligator
Yes,
Alcatraz. You know, Ron
and
DeSantis' two favorite things in life are Hulk Hogan and sending people to concentration camps in the Everglades. You know, he's got really
that pretty much sums it
admirable
up.
and interesting hobbies.
Yeah, and you know, I was listening to him, and we were probably 2 to 3 minutes into
Mm-hmm.
his delivery, and honestly, I was gonna wait, and at that point, I just lost complete interest, so I kind of changed the subject, and I just asked him, you know, I said, Ron, you know, Alligator Alcatraz, is that your fucking legacy, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
I said some other choice words as well.
Yeah, you were the guy. So I mean,
Yeah.
for people watching that or listening that don't know the story, you were the guy that went semi-viral. I mean, you went kind of wild for a little bit, where you went and confronted him, and people were sharing this clip of you calling him a fucking fascist and
Yeah.
a fucking Nazi. Do you defend pedophiles?
Yeah.
You know, I will try to, you know, get this clip up into the show if we can.
Venue, and they would play it on like a really big screen. And so like the first few WrestleManias, I think, were like that. And I remember WrestleMania 3, he was up, hey, stop. Get out of here. 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 So you used to have
people really took to that, because there's a huge contingency of people, particularly in Florida where we are, that feel the same way, that feel like this is insane. This man's priorities are completely contrary to what we should be focused on in this state. So if we're just talking about Florida, for example,
Mm-hmm.
home prices are through the roof, and there's another major issue with insurance coverage here in Florida, not to mention There's, property taxes have gone through the roof throughout the state. We have all these issues going on. This fucker is droning on about Hulk Hogan and then has his pet project of, quote, $450 million being invested in this concentration camp in the middle of the Everglades, boasting about, you're surrounded by pythons and alligators if you try to get out and all this bullshit. It's fucking grotesque. I mean, the
Yeah.
man he's a grotesquerie. He's laughable. He's a clown. He's a little man in fucking lifts. And he wants people to take him seriously. He's droning on, and he was called out. And there's a lot of people like myself that back you and advocate for what you're saying because it's the truth. He's allied himself with Trump. I'm not suggesting that DeSantis himself is involved in that, but he's allied with the GOP, guardians of pedophiles. And at the top of that is the president. The president knows what he did, when he did it, and who he did it with. And this is a cover-up. The whole goddamn thing is a cover-up.
For sure. And on top of that, there's a couple things. The reason I did it, the reason that I spoke out more than anything isn't because I think Ron DeSantis is a pedophile by any means, right? More than anything, I did it just to charge people up, to show them that you can speak back to power, to show them that these people are real people, and that sometimes it's just an illusion. I just walked in there. I didn't have much tension. I kind of talked to some people. One of the guys that was there, he actually lives in my city, and he was the guy that actually stole Pelosi's lectern, and he was actually invited to speak during that or to watch DeSantis speak during that press conference.
Yeah.
So
that's the company they're
is,
keeping.
Is insane, right? And it just feels like MAGA is just all over the place. And that is not the case. They're just loud. That's all MAGA is. They're just loud, right? And if we can get out there and just show people and be that spark that a lot of people need to feel better about speaking out, know that they can point to somebody and say, that man speaks, that man gets it, right? That man speaks for me. That man says exactly what I'm thinking, right? And that was the entire point of what I did, right?
Yeah.
Now on top of that, there are some issues with DeSantis in Florida, right?
Yeah.
With everything you just said, but DeSantis ran against Donald Trump. DeSantis knew that there was a sickness in that party. And what happens right after Donald Trump wins? He bows down to him and agrees to put alligator Alcatraz in our backyard.
Yeah.
Well,
now he's playing up the fact that he's got in mind another facility in North Florida that he wants to establish for the same purposes, operating a concentration camp within the confines and borders of the state of Florida, boasting about it, carrying on about it like it's not something to be absolutely fucking ashamed of because it's so dehumanizing and disgusting. But, if that's what he emphasizes, if that's what he's proud of, he can live in that. He can wallow in that hatred for brown people, because that's what, let's be honest, that's what this is about. He can wallow in that, and then he can see if that benefits him in his political career in the future and his wife's political aspirations, because as we know, his idea here when he stole the $10 million from the taxpayers was to set up his wife Casey with an opportunity to run for governor in the near future when he terms out. So that's what, the guy is just like all the rest. He's entirely self-serving. She's entirely self-serving. Everything they're doing is rooted in hatred and vitriol and just this love of everything that is, grotesque and dehumanizing. It goes back. He had his kid in the Build the Wall ads when he was first running for governor. She was a little kid. It's gross, dude. Okay? The guy is just a grotesquerie. He's a walking mockery of, what it is to be a man. So I find him detestable, just like 90% of the GOP. Let's move on before I throw up from talking about fucking Ron DeFascist ad nauseum. So going back to, what we talked about a minute ago with the Epstein files, you had made this post about Mar-a-Lago and essentially said somebody should check out what's going on down there. For all intents and purposes, that's what you said, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And I know why you said it, because just a matter of days before that, the president had essentially said, This guy Epstein stole women from me. He stole those girls.
Correct.
Stole those girls. I want you to think about what the implication of saying somebody stole girls from you. You sound like a pimp.
Right.
You
And it
sound like a
went
pimp.
right over his head. He had no idea.
No, I mean, well, we know he's brain dead. We know he's
Yeah.
basically a walking fucking vegetable. And he was dumb to begin with. Imagine how he is with addled with dementia and all the rest. The guy can barely construct two coherent sentences back to back. So when somebody asks him about this shit, he's saying Epstein stole those girls from me.
Right.
As if they were his property. So when you said that, when you put that up on threads and social media in response to that, suddenly the Secret Service takes an interest in what you're saying. Wow, that's pretty coincidental, don't you think?
I mean, the Secret Service has a job. I'm not going to try to sit here and say that I'm a conspiratorial person and then that this is some sort of conspiracy against me. I don't
Yeah.
think that's true, right? The Secret Service has a job. And if their job is to mitigate risk for the president and they thought that I was a risk and they want to come talk to me, that's their job, right? Well, that's their decision to make. I think what happened was they made a wrong decision, right? Because when they came to my address and wanted to talk to me, they literally just asked, "Hey, do you want to talk about your online posts?" And I said no, and they literally, Chris, just turned around and walked away. They didn't push anything. They didn't threaten
Yeah.
anything.
They didn't want to be there. They know it's horse shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. Trump has these people wasting our resources. And Chris, honestly, I talked to the Secret Service agent on the phone because I fought with the local Manatee County Sheriff's Department to release the transcripts for the Secret Service visit. I got the actual video, which I posted online, of the Secret Service coming to my home. And then I also got the original call from the Secret Service to our local Sheriff's Department. And on that call, the Secret Service agent that actually did come out to my house, she said that my name was Mark Davis and that there wasn't much on my record, just maybe fraud, is what she
fraud.
told.
What is that about?
Yeah, no
Mark,
idea.
who you frauding?
So, what's that?
Who you frauding, baby?
Yeah, I mean, you could have fraud on your record.
Sure.
Right?
I mean, you have a
know
very
I don't,
generic
but
name. There's probably 100 Mark Davises, and
that's what she
somebody.
said. She said you got a very generic name, Mark Davis, things like that come
Yeah.
back. And I'm like, okay, so is fraud? So you just chose fraud? I'm sure a lot of things came back for
I
Mark
like that.
Davis. Why'd you choose fraud?
I like that she was like, "Hey, listen, you have a very generic name, by the way." Oh,
Yeah.
thank you very
Thank
kindly
you.
for that comment about my name. And then, listen, I just picked fraud out of my ass. Fraud sounded good for a guy named Mark Davis. You're probably somewhere on American Greed on CNBC. You know, maybe you did a Ponzi scheme once upon a time. Mark Davis sounds good. So she makes all this horse shit up, but really, she knows she was just pulling shit out of her ass. So what did she say after that?
So she said, and then, goes into more detail about how it works and how records come back and things like that. And I'm saying, you probably could check my social security number and my birth dates. And I'm pretty sure that in today's 2025 world that you can pretty quickly see that I don't have a record. It's not that hard. So basically, I was talking to Ashley, like, this is not the right thing to do, Ashley. You can't lie like that. You are actually defending democracy in your position.
Yeah.
And you're lying about a civilian, about their record to make yourself feel more comfortable about coming out to a father's house and a husband's house that has no record. It's just that's what bothered me the most about it. Just that Ashley, that I know her now. I talked to her, and Ashley, hopefully by what I said to her, hopefully, I'm sure it won't, but hopefully that impacts some future decision that she makes. She was younger, but anyway, that was the interaction with the Secret Service.
So let's back up, all right?
Sure.
Because people don't know us. They're starting to get to know you on social media. You've raised a ruckus, not just because the screaming at that he defends Nazis, or that the Secret Service visited you because you said somebody needs to check on Mar-a-Lago. I mean, it really is bigger than that, because you've tapped into something with people online that are absolutely sick and furious about what is going on in this country right now. the way you have voiced that on social media, I think is reflected by, resonates with a lot of people. And so I want you to just talk about who is Mark Davis, because I know that you made an announcement recently, and I think that we should talk about that.
I think it was like in March, February, end of February, March. I told myself that I wasn't going to think about politics. I was even convinced myself that I wasn't going to see Donald Trump on TV. I was going to be able
Yeah.
to just tune him out, and it wasn't going to impact my relationships. It wasn't going to impact my business. Everything was going to be fine. And it worked for like a month.
Yeah, that's all you could do. 4 weeks, and it's like, nah, dude, I can't tune this shit out anymore. You
Man.
can't pretend this is not happening.
Right. And we'll get into more about like how that impacts my family with my parents, MAGA
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but anyway, so I tried to block it out because I didn't want those relationships to get hurt. Right. But there was two things that made me snap. And one of them was when there was the Oval Office meeting with Zelensky and Trump, that
Bro,
first
most
debacle.
embarrassing thing in American history until that point. And then, of course, he's, since then, one-upped himself. But go ahead. Yes.
Yes. And then, basically, demeaning Zelensky and
Yeah.
pretending like it was his fault, and then making fun of him about not wearing a suit when the guy is a
Yep.
commander in the middle of fucking war.
Yeah.
And I was kind of looking at it and listening to it out the corner of my eye. And I was at my desk working, and then I just started paying more and more attention. I was like, is this guy really saying this to a democratic country that is fighting for survival?
Yeah.
And it just blew my mind. And I literally just screamed. And I was in my office, and I just screamed. I couldn't believe it. That's when I knew, Chris, that the fucking sickness got into the fucking Oval Office. Anyway, but now it's full blown sickness, right? And there has to be something that needs to be done. But that was the first thing. And then the second thing was when, and this is personal, and I've shared this online, and it's tough for me to talk about, but it was when my own mother told my daughter, when they took her out for a dinner that we weren't, that myself and my wife weren't at, that they don't have to listen to their father about politics. And I mean,
Dude,
when I'm sitting here thinking
that's terrible.
that the MAGA party, the Republican Party, whatever you want to call it, is turning so fascist that I'm getting ready to call them Nazis, and my parents are telling my daughter not to listen to me when I'm just trying to instill democracy into my children. And I don't even talk to them about. I don't even talk to them about.
Yeah. Right.
I don't even talk to them about it. I just want them to grow and make their own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But to say something like that when I feel like you guys are so far gone that you're scaring me, and that's when I knew the sickness was in my family, So anyway, those two things made me snap. And then I just took to social media. I started blasting off on Facebook first. And after a while, I was just talking to people that are MAGA. Everybody I know is MAGA. My parents are MAGA. All my friends from Indiana, every coworker, they're all MAGA. Everywhere I live around MAGA. I think the person across the street is a QAnon supporter. Anyway,
He went to the ultimate level. I mean, do you get some kind of, pin, or do you get a gold star? Do you get a patch if you go all the way? You go full MAGA. You do all the ranks of MAGA. Then you go QAnon. Like, what do they do for you when you do that? I mean, do they treat you extra special?
Oh yeah,
What happens?
I mean, I was in the military, but I was enlisted, so I only had like 3 stripes. But the way that they're moving now with that superior level of MAGA, I mean, you'd be talking about their whole front of their uniform would be nothing but ribbons, nothing but ribbons, and they would probably actually have some sort of crown, I would imagine.
I would think it would be a MAGA sombrero, because you need something big with that kind of commitment. You need a MAGA sombrero. You need something that is that big and is adorned from brim to tip with all things MAGA. But I mean, that's if you go QAnon level. So you really have to be top tier. You got to be top tier conspiracy theorist MAGA to get that sombrero.
Then the QAnon people that believe that Trump did rape children, but they are okay with that. Then that sombrero, you get those little fucking dangly things out the bottom.
Yeah.
And they're in the shape of Trump's balls. So you just get Trump's balls around your head.
Trump's balls in there. All right. We're going to edit
Okay.
it right there. We're going to cut that
Yeah.
part out. We're going to put the saggy balls part out, and we're going to just move on.
Better not. Better not.
We got to leave the saggy balls in the edit. Okay, cool.
Uh-huh.
So we got the backstory there on like why you kind of went balls to the wall, no pun intended, with this. I mean, we are possessed with this fire, knowing that this is wrong.
Hmm.
Fundamentally speaking, what this movement is about, what MAGA is about, is wrong. It is wrong on a fundamental human level. What these people are embracing is all about hate. Okay? It's about intolerance for people who are different. It's about subservience to basically an authoritarian leader, autocracy for all intents and purposes. Whatever he says, they do. Whatever he says to believe, they believe. This is number one, that's just not democracy. That's not how it works. And for those of you Republicans out there that want to argue we're a constitutional republic, fantastic. You still have one man, one person, one vote, which is part of democracy. So it all works together. Call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's what it is. And everyone is supposed to have a say in how this country runs and operates. And what has happened just on a governmental administrative level is that this guy is now operating like an emperor. He operates by decree and he expects everything to be done and followed to a T. Whatever he says has to be done, just like he operated his many fraudulent businesses over the years. He expects it for people to fall in line and do what he says to do. In his first term, he had too many people with actual careers, actual knowledge, actual expertise to act as guardrails. And everybody like knows that at this point. At
Hmm.
the time, it wasn't understood that it could actually get worse. I knew it could get worse. I fucking knew it. We're left with only the most loyal soldiers to him. And that's what he wants out of the MAGA base. Complete fealty and nothing more than utter subservience.
Yep.
And he's expecting it and he's getting it. That's not what this country was supposed to be about. I'm sorry. I got news for you. It just isn't. We didn't go through a revolution for it to end up this way. We didn't. George Washington had an opportunity to be the king. He could have, instead of stepping down after 2 terms, he could have just said, I'm staying, baby. I run this bitch
And you know
now.
what? And I can't put the blame 100% on Trump. I hate that motherfucker,
Yeah.
but MAGA shares all the blame. The MAGA
Oh,
people,
yeah.
the people that voted for him. How can you not see that this maniac is coming? How can
Yeah.
you not see it? I don't understand it.
Well, it's how he's empowered by them. So it is symbiotic. There's no question it's symbiotic. He is empowered and emboldened by these people. He gave them license to be what they wanted to be and blame the other, whatever that is. Maybe it's not the same for all of them, but they needed someone to blame, to
Hmm.
pin some kind of failure, be it themselves or be it the larger, American experiment. They needed to pin a failure on someone. And he found all kinds of boogeymen for them. He found all kinds of boogeymen. And he allows them to revel in it. He, ginning all of that up, empowered him. So he has this battery of energy that he's imbued with as a result of all of these people in their true belief in him.
Hmm.
It's symbiotic. What happens on the outside of that, tangentially, is that everybody falls in line because they are afraid of MAGA. They're not just afraid of him, they're afraid of what he does when he turns on someone. If he feels as though you turned on him, he turns on you and he activates the MAGA army against you. That's what the Republican Party is afraid of. That's what politicians, that's what Congress people, that's what senators, that's why they bow out when they know they can't win once they've drawn his ire, because he doesn't come back to you. So once you've drawn his ire, you're on his shit list, you're out. They just resign. I mean, the
Yeah.
Paul Ryans, Romneys,
Yeah, they gave up.
they just give up. There's all kinds of them. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them. And the ones that don't give up, they get chased out. Kinzinger or Liz Cheney. The only two with any
And
fucking...
they're not the majority.
No, I
Those
mean,
types of people are not the majority in our country.
vanishingly small, Mark, vanishingly small percentage of the, not just the electorate, but the representation of the people, feels that way. So we've got a problem. It's a sickness, as you called it. They have given up on what America is supposed to be. They gave up on it, period. Flat out. There's no equivocating. They do not care anymore. And so it's up to us, people like us two morons and other morons like us, that understand that we're supposed to be just representing everybody. This whole thing is supposed to be about all of us in it together. And, other people have said it. President Obama said it, we're, trying to get towards that more perfect union. We were never there. We were never there. We never got there. And we're always working towards that. We're never the perfect embodiment of all of our ideals from the beginning of what the founding fathers thought the country could be. But we can get there. But we have to get through this, and we have a big problem. Short term, we need to see a Democratic majority in the Congress to deal with this bullshit.
Yes.
That's where it starts. So to that, I give you the floor because you made an announcement last week.
So through the social media, gotten pretty popular on a small scale. About 50,000 followers. I'm getting about 10 million views a month, and through Threads, I'm starting Instagram. A lot of people are connecting. With that, we built that out over the about 6 months that we've been doing it. We've built maddogdems.com, and that is a place where people can come together. You can share your story. And we share your story throughout our social media, and that's a good way for you to really see how people are being impacted by the policies real time.
I've seen some of the stories. Some of them are gut-wrenching. And some of them are just what you and I can relate to, seeing every day and just seeing families broken, seeing just people going through an extremely hard time as a result of some of the policies of this government, of the current administration. And some of it is just, like I said, heartbreaking to read.
Yeah, and it's just, and a lot of it is the hate. People are just sick of the hate, and there's just so much of it. And that's one of the reasons that I got really activated, is because I'm just tired of the hate. We just need to get back to some sort, and it doesn't have to be perfect, like you said, Chris. Just some sort of normalcy. And something that I say every day to myself is, I just want to bend the arc of democracy back towards normalcy, right? It's just gone so crazy that it's uncomfortable to look at. It's uncomfortable to talk about. I can't even watch the news sometimes because it pisses me off so much.
I just want to, make a comment, because there's this belief in MAGA world, in the MAGA-verse, as we like to call it, that there's a both sides to this, as everyone likes to say, like both sides.
Right.
The both sides factor is bullshit. One group of people, and I'm going to try to, out of respect for our society and culture, make it the political arm of it, but it has gone way beyond just political parties. They are fueled by hate. We've said it a couple times during this show. What do we mean by that? When you go and you take pictures at a sign that says Alligator Alcatraz, you're overcome with something twisted, because that is not normal behavior. That's a place that is designed and presently holds people like they're animals in cages, okay, in a sweltering fucking jungle in America. It's not a joke. To go over there and take funny pictures about a street sign that represents a concentration camp where 5,000 people are cooped up, that's just fucking demented. And whatever drives you to do that that's twisted. There's some psychopathy there.
Well, the MAGAs squeezed out the humanity in them to an extent.
They did. You make a great point. They did squeeze out the humanity. Like, to be humane, to have compassion is woke, and we can't be woke because that would be weak. All right. The other side of that is simply the paradox of intolerance. Yeah, I'm overcome with anger and fury about all this, but it's because I hate to see this hate. I hate to see this intolerance of people who are different. I hate to see it. And it makes me fucking furious. I'm like overcome with it. And you're overcome with it. And you don't want to live like this. And the only way to do it is to fight back and to be adamant about it.
Right. And so when we built Mad Dog Dems, we actually had some conversations about if we were even going to include Dems in the name. Just because we're fighting fascism. This is America versus fascism.
Period. If you're at all unsure what this is about, this is fighting fascism, because it is here in America today.
Once you start calling it what it is, And it's tough. It's tough to get there because you start sounding a little crazy, right? What do you mean fascist? In America, that would never happen here. But once you start calling it what it is, Chris, things just start making a lot more sense,
It just
you
makes a
know?
lot more sense, dude.
Yes.
There's also the context of people always ask the questions about Trump. Is he loyal to Putin? Is he an agent? Is he the Manchurian candidate? Is he a useful idiot? He may be all of these things. Once you understand the decisions he makes are not America first, they're Putin first, everything else just makes more sense. You don't have to wonder, why the fuck is he doing this? I can't
Right.
understand why he's doing the things that he's doing. I don't listen to what 18 intelligence agencies have told me. Vlad over here says something else. Oh, pardon me. Mr. Putin said something else. Oh, once you understand that, everything else makes a fuck ton more sense.
Right.
So, I mean, does he work for the guy, or is he just so easy to manipulate because he's such a punk ass?
They rolled out the literal red carpet for him in Alaska.
I know.
And this is
Yes.
somebody that should be arrested. He should be arrested when he comes here.
Yeah. He's a war
He has an
criminal.
arrest warrant. So,
Like,
it's
that would
just
have been the easiest setup in the world if Trump is such a dumb fuck, could have had this guy arrested. The whole world would have fucking rejoiced.
Yeah.
He could have baited him into a trap. I mean, think about that insanity. That Putin knew there was no way he was going to do that.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Obviously.
Putin knew
Yeah. Oh, they're
that
best
Trump
friends.
wasn't going to arrest him, even though he could be.
Oh,
If he
yeah,
was
yeah,
in France,
definitely.
he would be fucking arrested. So
Right.
he's never going to go back to France.
Exactly.
And he likes France, that
Yeah.
cocksucker. So he's not going to France. He's staying in fucking Moscow, except that he could go to Anchorage, Alaska.
And we cheer it on.
And
That's
MAGA cheered it.
cheers it on.
They love it.
They
How?
love it.
Why? What's the love? He looked like a bitch. He looked like a fucking punk ass.
They're bowing down.
He had our soldiers rolling out on their hands and knees, getting the creases out of the fucking red carpet so this piece of shit could cascade down the steps and walk on the red carpet side by side with the President of the United States on American soil. And he
Right.
shook his hand and he's doing they're fucking
Like
chumming
they
it
were
up.
just fucking friends. Yep.
And then the aftermath was something to behold. Because he looked like a whipped dog. He looked like a whipped dog. He had seen a ghost. And is it the ghost of Epstein, or is it just a ghost of all his other fucking misadventures from before he was a political candidate?
I don't even think he cares anymore about all of his ghosts. His skeletons in the closet. He just glosses over them, and
He does. Yeah.
it's just unreal. But anyway, all right, we can dig into.
We can get on all that.
We can get
Maybe
into
we save that for another day. But you
so
still
Mad Dog
haven't gotten
Dems.
to the
Mad Dog,
big
let me just
news
put-
last week.
What's that? Yes,
The big
all right.
news
Let me
last
just get back
week.
to Mad Dog Dems. We'll put a bow on. So we didn't know if we were going to put Dems on it. We did finally put Dems on it. I am a Democrat. I am a registered Democrat. I vote Democrat. Democrats, I believe, had the best chance that are going to take down fascism. But
Who
we
else is
welcome
gonna do it?
everybody. We welcome everybody. If you're independent, if you're a Republican and you hate fucking fascism, then come on board, right?
Bring
So
it.
this is America versus fascism.
Period. It's not complicated.
So anyway, that was our motto with Mad Dog Dims, and that really attracted people, and people related well to that because they are mad and they are done with this, and they do want a dog in the fight. And I am that dog. I am that dog in the fight. I am a bulldog. If you give me an issue, I'm going to grab onto it, and I'm not going to let go. I'll come back with a fucking bone, Chris.
That's what I like to hear. That's it.
I might come back bloody. I might come back beaten, but I'll spit that bone out in front of you. Okay.
Good.
But anyway, so that really started connecting with people. Our following went up about double in a month. We're gaining about 15,000 followers per month at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So then people were asking, I think that they asked that to everybody as they start getting more and more popular online. Why don't you run for this or run for that? And obviously, I was already thinking that, but I didn't want to really join the Democrat Party because I'm not running for the Democrat Party, right? I'm running for the Democrat people, right?
Yeah.
I'm running for democracy. I'm running not for those stiff necks that are really kind of letting us down in Washington, D.C. right now,
I'd say.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm running to completely change that whole atmosphere. I want to put a bulldog in the fight, somebody that can match that energy that MAGA's putting out and take them down, right? And I look around and I see people have that energy, and I'm seeing that it's starting to rise and it's starting to grow.
I agree.
But we need to we need to turbocharge that energy
100%.
because we have what I would say 12 months now to really get into thinking about midterms and taking back Congress and taking back the House and Senate, and so we have to do that now. The energy needs to be now, and so I have that energy right now, and I would go crazy if I didn't use that energy to channel it into something political because I can't think of anything else right now. There's nothing else that is remotely as important. You know, me and my wife have actually cried about this together during our anniversary. We had a dinner and we sat across from each other and said, you know, me going down this path of politics, is this right for our family? And you're always afraid of what you don't know, right? And that's the biggest fear is what's on the other side of unknown. And we've never done anything like this. And a lot of people don't do things like this. So you can't get a lot of people's feedback really on advice and what to do. So we just put our head down and said, yeah, we're going to do it because saving our country and the values for our country means just as much as protecting our family. It's all
Yeah.
the same to us, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, me and my wife have decided that I'm going to run for Congress in the 6th District of Florida. So
Golf clap.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So
In the interest of the microphone here, golf clap.
we're firing up the campaign.
Yeah.
We're starting to get pieces together. We're going to fire up our website. I talked to a lady today that's going to start organizing some town halls
Awesome.
and some other things. So
Love it.
yeah, we're 100% energized, ready to go, ready to rock and roll. Just need to, like I said, we don't have time. We don't have time to wait for the next Obama to come, right? Or the next superstar to come. You know, Gavin Newsom is making a lot of noise out there, and that's awesome, you know, but we need to really do that. We need to replicate that energy in every state, you know, times a million. But my energy is there. I'm going to go for it. I'm not even going to say the guy's name that I'm going against. It's not even worth it.
This is about saving America from fascism. That's it. Saving America from fascism. Period.
Yep.
Doesn't matter about who you're running against. Irrelevant. Irrelevant. What do you represent? You represent the American ideal, fairness for all, freedom for all, not, blockers for certain individuals, not billionaires and the top 1%.
Not
and
the
all the
boys
multinational
club,
corporations.
You rub shoulders with MAGA, and then all of a sudden you're in the boys club, and that
Yeah. None of that. We're not representing that.
Insanity.
We're representing America. It's a big place. It's a big tent. It's been a big tent for a long time. The idea that we just need to funnel it into people that believe the MAGA way is the American way, I don't think so. And we're not just sitting down and taking it. And Mark here represents the vanguard of that. He's going to run. He's putting his name on it, putting his name in the hat. And there are a lot of people out there. I've seen it, Mark, just like what you're saying.
Yep.
Not just Newsom. I've liked Newsom because I like cage fighters. I like guys like this. And, the fact that Newsom is willing to take it on. But there are many people that are just like that. They're not the only ones. I see it in the grassroots. I've seen people in L.A. protesting vehemently, loudly against the ICE raids, putting their name on it.
Mm-hmm.
These cowards are not willing to do that. These fucking ICE cowards are not willing to put their name and face on it. Here we are. We're just regular people. We're just regular Americans. Some fucking garden variety white boys.
I mean, that's, I love those comments, and you try to ignore them, when you're doing your social media stuff, but the no faces, when they can't even show their face, but yet they have it back to you, and I'm out here, this is doing what we're doing, just doing, and I'm not trying to ask for sympathy or anything like that, but you're making yourself very vulnerable. You're putting yourself out there to humiliation that people are going to pick apart every little thing you say, or that you think a certain way. So people are going to think a certain way about you. Yeah. And being in Florida, if your dad is a Democrat, that almost is a knock against you as a teenage girl, apparently.
Yeah. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. I've had some conversations with my daughter about that. So
imagine the idea that the cool party is the one that protects pedophiles. Hey, I got to be honest with you. I didn't think growing up, that the cool party would be the one that's all about covering up
No.
pedophilia. I did just,
Yeah.
it just didn't, that
Yeah. Yeah.
just never came to me, that idea. I also didn't think that, because Pizzagate was a real thing, that there's any reason why the Republican Party and MAGA would be covering up what's going on with this whole thing. I thought that was all Democrats behind all that. I
Rocks.
thought they were
Right.
eating the babies and trafficking kids and all the rest of it. But it turns out it was all fucking bullshit, just like everything else they say.
It's
So
all.
listen, you're doing the right thing. We're here to support you. This
Appreciate it.
is not the only time you and I are going to get together and chop it up here on
Yeah.
this show. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to represent the people. I hope that we hear from a lot of people once this goes live that want to participate. They're welcome to be a part of the show. This is meant to be inclusive. Yes, it's dad bods, and we've got them. We've got the receipts to show the dad bods. I see it there. I'm shot like this and wearing black, so you cannot see the dad bod
You're,
so
you're looking. You're
clearly.
looking. You're looking good, Chris. I'm not gonna
Oh
lie.
yeah, thank you,
Yeah. Yeah.
thank
No
you.
problem. Yeah. I
Appreciate
think. I think
that.
you do need to grow a beard, though. That's the only my only
Yeah, yeah,
critique.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
what's happening is, you see,
Mhm.
as they say, the curtains don't match the carpet, right? You know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about? Well, I'm
I do.
talking about my hair.
Yeah.
And look, it's my one vanity in life is that I still have my hair at my age. But this is all coming in gray, dude. I got to keep this shit down. I don't let this get unruly like that.
Gotcha.
Don't worry, you'll
Gotcha.
get
Yeah.
there.
I don't have any problem with any gray hair yet. So I
Okay,
don't
yeah,
know what that's
you'll
like.
get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And looking forward to many more of these. But listen, I think we need a palate cleanser. I think we need a palate cleanser after talking about Trump and Ron DeFascist, Epstein, and MAGA for the past 45, 50 minutes, whatever it's been.
Agreed. All right.
So give me something that's going to cleanse the palate here. And I don't mean this Sprite that I'm trying to get a sponsorship with, you pricks. Huh? How about it? Case.
Is
I
that
want a
our
case
sponsorship?
at my door
Yeah.
next week. Case of this shit. It's terrible for you,
You're
but I'll
asking
drink
for a
it.
lot. You're asking for a lot there, Chris.
I know. Go ahead. What's a palate cleanser for the end of this debauchery?
Palate cleanser. So we both like music, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And you
That's a true
are
statement.
okay. All right. And you are a guitarist, correct?
I am.
And how
I
long
am.
have you been playing guitar?
Bro, you're going to out me here. It's getting close to, it's not 30 years, but it's getting close.
30 years. Okay. All right. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess we are getting old. I've been playing for
Fuck.
probably 20, 25 years or so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Good
Yeah.
that.
I guess we are getting old, aren't we?
Yeah.
But anyway, so you know music.
I dabble.
Yes, yes. And yeah, hard rock, is that right? Is that your genre?
Yeah. I'm a rock guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I want to know, Chris, what is your favorite? I was going to say guitar leg, but let's just say, what's your favorite band? I just want to know what your favorite
Oh, come
band
on. That's
all
very
time
trite,
is.
dude. You get better than that.
No,
Don't walk me down into that fucking
because I don't know.
cliche.
And I really feel like if we're going to be doing these podcasts together, though, I need to know what your favorite
Favorites.
all time band.
Favorites. When
So let's say your favorite rock and roll band. Okay. Jeez, let's go. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yes. Yep.